Hello yogis, Kathy here. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time, I welcome you to my beginner's class. So this class is all about stretching and improving your flexibility if you're brand new to yoga. A lot of these postures are really good for incorporating into a regular practice or even practicing individually on their own. So for this practice, you'll need a few props. You might need 1 or 2 blocks as well as a strap. I will leave in the description box below a few alternatives for these props, so you can probably find alternatives around the house. Remember, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button to receive weekly videos. When you're ready, let's get started. Alright, so we're going to begin today's practice in a wide-legged child's pose. Bring our big toes together, walk your knees to the outer edges of the mat, and we're going to slowly push the hips back towards the heels. So see how that feels. You can always place a block on top of your heels, and this will give your hips a little bit of a height to rest on. You can also place a block directly in front of you, so that as we come forward, we can drop our chest, drop our chin onto a block for support. So we never want to dump our weight forward. It's always important to start by pulling the hips back. So we might be up here, and that is totally okay. So here we are still able to keep our hips heavy. Spine is still in alignment in neutral position. And once you feel more comfortable, you can start to come down onto your forearms. Use a block underneath your chest, dropping the head. So from our wide-legged child's pose, we're going to take a few deep breaths here to prepare ourselves for practice. Breathing fully and deeply. Finding extension through the top of the head. As we exhale, continue to find heaviness through the hips. And at the next breath, we'll inhale to lift our heads, come up onto our hands, remove the block off to the side. We're going to walk up, so onto your hands and knees, keeping the knees wide, placing your left hand to the center of the mat. We're going to take an inhale, reaching up for thread the needle, reaching your top hand up towards the sky. As we exhale, same movement, pulling the hips back towards the heels. This time the right hand will come underneath, bring elbow, shoulder, ear to the floor. If your head is floating, we're going to slide a block underneath our head, top hand, so that left arm is going to curl up and forwards. So we're gently stretching and opening through our shoulders. Option to take this top hand and sweep it towards your low back. If that feels comfortable, go ahead and rest your hand onto the sacrum. One more breath here. And we'll slowly release. Take the hand, bring it back down to the floor, give yourself a push. Inhale, right arm up. Let's take an inhale, take that arm up high, and exhale, bring it down to the ground. And we'll switch sides. So keep this block nearby. If you need to rest your head at any point, feel free to drop it down. So we're going to bring the right hand towards the center. Inhale, left arm up this time, twist to open, press down to the hands, open to the chest. Exhale, we're going to sweep this arm all the way across, elbow, shoulder, ear to the floor or onto a block. Inhale, your right arm stretches all the way up overhead. Once you're balanced, maybe we pick up this right hand, bring the hand towards the sacrum, towards the low back. Gently stretching through your shoulders, opening up through the shoulder joint. And we'll slowly release. If you're in a bind, release this top hand down to the ground. Give yourself a push. Inhale, bring that left arm out from under. And let's start to walk the knees in towards center. Opening up through your fingertips, index and middle finger pointing forwards. Knees are hip distance apart. Toes can curl under to take some of the stress out of the knees. You can always roll the mat over or place towels underneath the knee joint for more comfort. So let's take an inhale. We're going to drop the belly. Start to lift the gaze up. So looking up towards the tip of your nose. Allow your tailbone, your sit bones to lift at the same time. As we exhale, chin start to tuck in towards the chest. We're going to press down through our hands. Tailbone comes under, gaze towards belly button. So inhale, drop the belly into cow pose, the spinal extension. Exhale, chin to chest, press the floor away, spinal flexion. Inhale, drop in the belly, lift the heart, lift the sit bone. Exhale, chin to chest. We're going to move through this a couple more times. Inhale, allow the belly to soften, dropping down. Lifting up through the chest, gaze comes up. Exhale, chin towards your chest, gaze towards belly button, head drops. One more time. And as we exhale, coming back into center. So still staying with our shoulders, we're going to reach for both blocks, placing them shoulder width apart directly in front of you. We're going to come into a shoulder opener. It's also a really great stretch for the triceps. So you're going to bend your elbows, walk your elbows on top of the block. So I recommend getting thicker blocks for better balance. So if you have skinny blocks, just make sure you're placing your elbows directly towards center. Placing the palms together. I'm going to exhale, pull the hips back, and slowly allow the chest to drop down in between the space of your arms. Bend the elbows, palms together, reverse prayer. Bring the hands towards the nape of the neck. Forehead drops down towards the ground. Continue to pull the hips back to get deeper into the stretch. Really great stretch for the shoulders as well as the chest. And this is a really good warm-up as well to build up into some shoulder openers for binds, for just opening through the shoulder joints, allowing for a better range of motions and any kind of reach back or extension in the arms. And we'll take one more breath here. And slowly release. You're going to bring the hands back out in front. Look forward, rocking up. And we're going to come off the block, move them up towards the side. Bring them to the outside of your mats. So from here, we're going to take an inhale, point the right toes back. As we exhale, we're going to step the right foot to the outside of our mats. So nice big step forward. And bring both hands to the inside of your right foot. Option to come up onto a block. We're going to pick up the back knee, so lift up onto your toes. So we're going to start to shift forward and back. Rocking forwards and back. So this is a really great way to actively stretch the psoas through the left hip flexors. So you're going to rock forward onto your toes and exhale, press back. Rocking forwards and back a few times. Nice wide lunge. So remember, our right foot is slightly pivoted. It's not directly in line with our back foot, so it's almost towards the outer edges of the mat. And we're going to drop back foot down onto the floor, holding here in dragon pose. So staying on your block or coming off your block, completely your choice. We're going to hold here and breathe into the hips. Option to allow this knee to drop out to the side if it feels comfortable. In dragon pose, we have lots of options. So one of them is to open up through the hip joint here. And you might want to play with the position of the knee. If it doesn't feel good, bring it back to center, keep the foot grounded. If it feels okay, you can allow the sole of the foot to roll to the outer edges. Knee splays out to the side. Holding here and breathing 3 more breaths. And slowly let's close up the knee joint, bring it back into center, curl the toe, lift the back knee. We'll step back into our table position. setting up for the other side. Inhale, our left toes goes back. Exhale, step it forward, all the way to the top of the mat. Now we're going to heel toe this foot all the way towards the outer edges to open up the distance between our feet. Heel is in, toes are pointing out to the side. So we're going to rock forward and back a few times, and then placing the knee down onto the ground. Allow your foot to roll to the outer edges. So see how this feels. Our knee can splay out to the side if that feels good. If not, bring the foot back down flat on the ground. If it's okay, we're going to go ahead and let that knee fall. Bring the hands back down onto the floor or use a block. Inhale to lift up. Keep the gaze forward. Chest is proud and lifting. 3 deep breaths into the hip. And slowly, let's gently close up the knee joint. Bring it back into center. Heel toe the foot back in. Curl the toes under. And we'll step back into our table position. From our table, we're going to take an inhale. Extend the right toes back. As we exhale, bring the right knee behind the right wrist. Place the foot down across the other side. Allow the knee joint to close. A block can come underneath the right sit bone. Now we're going to sit ourselves up in Pigeon Pose. This is a really great stretch to open up through the hips, increasing hip flexor flexibility on the left side and increasing our hip mobility, or hip joint mobility on the right side. And also a really great stretch for the outer right hip. So let's take an inhale here, coming up onto your fingertips, lift the heart. So check in to make sure that we're balanced on both sides. So again, this block is really important underneath your right sit bone to keep ourselves from falling on one side or the other. If your back knee is sore, you can roll the mat over or place a towel underneath. Take a few breaths here to prepare. Exhale, we're going to slowly lower down, dropping the hands onto the ground. We're going to release the head down and relax the chest. Another option for this posture, if you're having injuries in your lower body and your knee and that folding forward motion is not accessible, we're going to do this seated. So we're going to bring our right foot across. So flex the ankle in a seated pigeon position. You're going to walk the left foot in. The closer you compress your body towards the leg, the more stretch you're going to feel in your outer hip. So go ahead and either recline your pigeon or take the seated version. We'll take 3 deep breaths. Slowly, let's release, coming up onto your hands. Take an inhale, look forward, and exhale. Curl the toe, lift the back knee, and we're going to release the block, place it off to the side, and step back into your table position. Now let's try the other side. Inhale, left toes points back. Bring the left knee behind the left wrist, foot crosses to the other side. We're going to stretch this right leg all the way back behind us. Block can come underneath the left sit bone. So we're going to come up and just check our balance here. Again, take your hands off the floor for a minute. Check how your knee is feeling. So we might keep the knee more open if we're more flexible and balanced, or we close up the knee. Okay, so the foot will come closer towards us, and that will alleviate some of the joint pain if you're experiencing knee pain. So sitting up onto a block if you need for balance. Let's take an inhale to lift up. Exhale, start to dive forward, walking down onto your hands, onto your forearms, or even onto a block. Our seated variation, we come into seated position. Left foot would come across, ankles over the thigh, hands back for balance. You're going to walk yourself in, hands can come in, or bring the bottom right foot in closer towards you, compress through the body, and we'll get a similar stretch in the outer hip. This is our seated pigeon pose. So this is great if you cannot come take the reclined version for whatever reason. So this is just another option that you can take. Finding 3 more breaths. And And slowly let's make our way up onto our hands. Take an inhale here to lift the chest. Curl the toe, lift the back knee. Slide the block out from under. And let's step back into a table position. We're going to take the toes all the way back into a high plank. And lower ourselves down. Thighs, belly, chest drops down onto the ground. So we're going to get into our backs a little bit here. So coming down onto the floor, measure out the distance for your forearms. So grabbing for opposite elbows, shoulders over your elbows, keep them stacked. And we're going to place the forearms down onto the floor, fingertips facing forward. Lifting up through the chest, gaze forward. You're going to almost pull yourself forward, but not actually moving. So find a bit of traction through your forearms and your palms by pulling them back to lift the heart forward and up. So notice how this feels in your mid and low back. So through the thoracic spine, lumbar spine, if there's a lot of compression, we're going to back off a little bit and widen the hands. So this will take it down a notch. Otherwise, keep your forearms parallel, relax the shoulders, chest stays lifted. Couple breaths here in Sphinx pose. And let's slowly release, coming down all the way onto our belly. We're going to practice locust pose. So continuing with our back stretches. We're going to reach the hands back, top of the hands down onto the ground, feet down onto the floor. We're going to press down into the right leg and lift the left leg off the floor. So inhale, pressing into your right leg, top of the hands down, left toes point up. Feel a little squeeze through the low back. And let's release. Other side, press into the top of the hands, press into the left foot. Inhale, right leg will come up. Toes point back up, 45-degree angle. And let's lower down. Try one more on each side. Inhale, press to lift. Exhale, lower the left leg. Other side, inhale, right toes point up. And exhale, slowly release. Bring the hands underneath. Give yourself a little push to come into baby cobra. Inhale, lift the chest. Drop the shoulders back, long spine. Taking 3 deep breaths here. And let's exhale, roll all the way back down. Curl the toes. Give yourself a little push onto hands and knees. And let's come take a seat. So we're going to take a seat sitting forward. If this is not comfortable, we can sit up onto a block. So place the block underneath your sit bones, cross the ankles, so allow your knees to fall lower than your. So sitting up nice and comfortably wherever you are. Let's take an inhale, stretching through the fingertips, turning out your wrists a few times, clockwise and counterclockwise. We're going to take the right arm underneath the left, cross the elbows, grab for opposite shoulders for eagle arms. So see how it feels here. We're opening up through the upper back. So spreading the scapula, spreading the shoulder blades. Taking a few breaths. If there's room to go a little bit more, if you have the shoulder flexibility, if you have the space across your chest, across the pecs, we're going to go ahead and wrap the forearms together, palms together. Pulling the elbows down towards us, thumb aligning towards our nose. So taking a few deep breaths here, binding tightly through your forearms, through the arms, towards the center line of the body. Releasing the traps down the neck, across your shoulders. And let's slowly release. Take your back foot, place it forwards. Let's just switch to the stretch. Switch the direction of our seat. Taking an inhale, reaching the arms out. Again, turn out your wrist a few times, point it down, turn it back up. And on your next inhale, lift up through the heart, open the chest. left arm will come underneath the right. So cross your elbows. We're going to start here. Give yourself a big hug, grabbing onto opposite shoulders. If there's room to go more, if you have the flexibility in the shoulders and you have room in the chest, we're going to wrap the forearms together, palms together, and draw everything towards the center line. Elbows come down towards the chest, thumb around the height of your nose, pressing evenly into the hands. Breathing deeply. Continue to find length through the crown of the head. So sitting up nice and tall, hugging the elbows in, compress. Breathing to the shoulders. At the end of the next exhale, slowly release. Take the arms out. We're going to turn the thumbs down, palms facing back, and push the hands together. Press the heart forward. And turn it the other way, palms facing up. A little stretch. And let's come off our blocks. Grabbing for your strap. So we're going to take the right foot out onto the side, moving back down to our hips now. So this is a really great stretch for our hamstrings as well as our hips. So we're doing a revolved head to knee pose. Our left leg is going to start in a half butterfly. So the sole of the foot is towards the inner thigh, knee bent. You can place a block underneath this knee, give it a little bit of support. We're going to take our strap and loop it around the arches of this right leg, so your extended leg. Bring a bend to your knee first. Place the strap around the arch of the foot and give as much slack as you need in the strap to allow this knee to completely extend. So use a longer strap if you need, and this will give you more reach. So we're going to turn ourselves to face the extended leg, ankles flexed, toes pointing up. One hand on either side of the strap. Let's take an inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, we're going to hinge from our hips. Lead with the chest, lead with the heart. Gaze forward. Give yourself a little pull, finding length in the spine first. Taking a few breaths here. And when you're ready, see if you can maintain the length of your spine. Continue to fold from the hip crease, not bending through the spine. So keeping the spine long, gaze forward. If there's room, we start to bow towards that right leg, reaching the crown of the head towards our toes. One more breath. And we slowly release. Inhale, come all the way up. Let's release the strap, remove the block, and let's try the other side. So bring the right foot into a half butterfly. So the knee will be bent, sole of the foot to the inner thigh. Use a block underneath this knee if you need some added support. Left leg will stay long. We're going to bend the knee to place our strap around the arches of the foot. Allow this leg to completely re-extend. Turn our torso so we're facing that extended leg. We'll take an inhale to sit up tall. As we exhale, our elbows are going to start to bend. We're leading with the heart, back stays flat, drawing the crown of the head forward towards our toes. Head to knee pose. Finding our revolved head to knee pose. And if there's room to go deeper, we're going to continue to find length in the spine as we drop the chest, encouraging the chin to come down towards the shin, keeping the gaze forward towards the toes. One more breath. And let's slowly release, come back up, removing your strap, removing your block, and we're going to bring the feet in together, sitting up nice and tall in easy pose. Ankles can come cross, sitting on the floor or onto a block. And let's take an inhale, sweep the arms up, reaching the hands together, interlace the fingers. I'm going to press the hands up and tip from side to side. Just a few times to release the obliques. Keeping the sit bones down on the floor as you open up. Breathing into the rib cage. Tick-tocking side to side. A few more times. And coming back into center, let's release the hands. Take the hands down towards heart center. Deep breath into the nose and exhaling through the mouth. Relax shoulders. Palms come together, thumb in front of the sternum. Taking a few deep breaths here to release. Taking a moment to find stillness in the body, find stillness in the mind. Thank you so much, yogis, for joining me in today's beginner's class. I hope you found some useful stretches that you can practice on their own or you can use to build onto your existing practice. My name is Kathy. As always, a pleasure to guide you through your practice. If you have any requests, please leave me a comment in the section below and I will do my best to incorporate them into future classes. Remember, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave a message in the section down below to let me know if there's anything else you would like to work on. And remember to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to receive weekly yoga videos. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.